Linda, you're here today to support Jason Moore.
Yes, I am.
And what was the reason that you decided to come along?
The reason I came along, about 18 months ago, I was contacted by Kirsty, and she told me all about her brother. And she gave me files and I read them, and she said to me, would you support us? And I read it and I could see he is a miscarriage of justice, and being the victim of a miscarriage of justice myself, it's something I've got an affinity with her brother. As I said in there when I was speaking, the worst thing that a prisoner can have on their card on their door says life.
Yes.
Because life can be as long as they want to keep you. And when you are innocent, every day gets harder, and it's harder, and you cover it to your family. You go, oh, I'm fine, I'm okay. But it isn't. When you get shut in at the end of the day, you cannot justify that day.
Yes.
And you can't justify the next day and the next day. So I know exactly how he feels. So this is why I have the t-shirt on, and I spoke on the family's behalf.
So how difficult is it when you know that you are innocent when you're behind that cell door? I mean, it must be so soul-destroying.
It is soul-destroying. And if you don't conform and do the courses, which I refused to do, I ended up getting moved to 14 different prisons,
Yes.
which for my family was dreadful. They had to go from one end of the country to the other to visit, and they sort of try and wear you down.
Yes.
But I just would not allow myself to be worn down.
So they really wanted you to admit it,
Yeah.
and you wouldn't in the end?
No, and if they never changed it in the end, that they do accept there are people in prison who are innocent,
Yes.
and to make them say they did it is even worse.
Yes.
They removed that, and that is the only reason I actually got home after 18 years, when the judge only recommended 7.
What was it like that moment when you walked out the prison gates for the last time? How did you feel?
Oh, I was elated, absolutely elated. And I always knew the day would come. I didn't think it would take as long as it did.
Such a huge chunk of your life, isn't it?
It was a huge chunk.
But now, of course, you have a fantastic career.
Now I've turned my life round, so I have 3 books under my belt, and I now have 3 more books I've been signed up to do.
How wonderful.
1, my prison diaries,
Yes.
and another 2, crime fiction. So
That's wonderful.
now, at the end of it, things have turned round for me.
So do people now recognise you as Linda Calvey, having been inside, or as an author?
I think it's a bit of both.
Yes.
It's gradually coming over more to Linda Calvey, the author, but it's, yeah.
Well, brilliant. Well, it's fantastic that you supported Jason tonight. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. I was in the same position as Jason. I'd got an 18-year sentence, a life sentence for a crime I never committed. So I was really pleased to help her in any way I could. And the thing is, I don't know who in here has been in prison, but the worst card you can have on your door says life. As you've just said, Tim, it can be anything. And when someone's in prison and they're doing time for someone else's crime, I can assure you every day gets worse and worse and worse. And there's got to be justice for Tim's family and for Kirsty's family, and we have got to get Jason home. It is such a terrible thing.